everybody thinks that they can be an attorney without a license. They want to throw around magic words like Jack and the Beanstalk. Oh, let me throw right to accuser, right to confront. Let me throw, I want a dismissal. The question is, do you want a jury trial? Yes or no? And let me explain something to you. If you say you want a jury trial, this train is going to a jury trial. This train is not at the last minute. Oh, I see witnesses walking in the door, so therefore I'm deciding to enter a plea bargain agreement. If you want a jury trial, court will give you a jury trial. You will get a quick, fast jury trial. So you want to discuss that with your attorney? You can. You all want to discuss that?
I'm good with the jury trial.
Wait, he already accepted the deal and now he wants out. This just turned messy real quick. Stick till the end because this decision could cost him everything. And don't forget to subscribe for more insane courtroom twists.
All right, Judge, he's on his way up. For your edification, this was a plea that we entered in front of Judge Angelini for 10 deferred.
Oh, no, I remember.
Okay, well, I'm just going to fill you in on what's going on there today.
All right, what's happening today?
So I asked the DA if he would be willing to consider the 10 deferred. He said, let me think about it. We did enter the plea fully and officially on the 4 silent. Mr. Hernandez then tells me he wants me to put in a motion to dismiss for prejudice, and I told him there is no such thing because, you know, judges bust plea bargains all the time. That doesn't give you a right to dismiss. And so then he says, well, he wants a jury trial. And I said, well, we have entered the plea on the 4 silent, so the judge may or may not allow you to withdraw your plea, and then that's what he wants to speak to you about.
All right. All right, we can go on the record.
Yes, ma'am. I just didn't understand what I was signing. And
Excuse
She
me.
hasn't started
I'm sorry.
yet.
I'm sorry.
All right, and let me stop you right there. All this thing where people say they don't understand what they were signing, based upon what is the information that I've received, that first it was 10 years deferred and the judge denied it, and then it came back to a silent offer. Yeah, everybody understood. Court is calling 2023 CR 10221, State of Texas versus Joe Hernandez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
For the defense?
Suzanne Kramer.
All right, and are you Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, a plea was entered in this case on, let me see what date is stamped on here, on April 22nd, 2024. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishments to be assessed at 4 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine, and the state is silent on the defendant's application. All right, with regards to the plea bargain agreement, the court, of course, does not have the PSI because we're coming back. Can someone tell me what his criminal history is?
Judge, I don't have a file on the applicant.
Basically, I could be off on this, but my memory is some minor misdemeanors and no felony convictions.
Mm-hmm. So, counsel, do you wish to have a PSI done, or do you wish the court to make its ruling?
Honestly, Judge, based on his criminal history, and of course, you don't have the benefit of the interview with him, but Mr. Delgado and Escobar and I can fill you in on part of the, I think it was part of this plea bargain too, was evaluation for Mick. There are definitely some mental health issues going on. You can tell by reading the report, but you do not have the benefit of having that in front of you. But I do feel confident, of course, it's up to him to go forward today.
All right. So I am reading the police report, and based upon the police report that I've read that are in the stipulation, there is documentation of bizarre behavior. And I don't know, based upon the police report, if that bizarre behavior was drug induced or if there's some sort of mental health issues.
Which is why I think we had dual, right, with Mick, or was it just Mick?
I'm making yes, that was.
I mean, based on my time, and certainly I'm not an expert in any way, but I would tend to think it might have been both, but definitely some mental health issues.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, you want to raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Joe Hernandez.
All right, so Mr. Hernandez, have you ever been diagnosed with any type of mental health issues?
No, ma'am.
All right. Not even in your childhood?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Drug use.
No, ma'am.
You're telling me you never used any drugs?
No. I'm an alcoholic, yes. I drink, but that's it.
All right, so in the stipulation, they're saying that you were exhibiting bizarre behavior.
Somebody was trying to take my life that night, and I was just trying to save my life. I was asking for help. And I didn't want to die that night. Somebody came at my door trying to kill me.
And I did.
And I ended up at the hospital. I called the cops. She has the phone record that I called the cops asking for help. I ended up at the hotel. I did everything wrong, yes. But I was just trying to save my life that night. I didn't want to die that night. I didn't want somebody to take my life for no reason. That's the God's honest truth. And I'm here fighting this. I don't have mental issues.
Oh, I mean, if you want a jury trial, we'll give you a jury trial.
I'm 34 years old.
No, if you want a jury trial, you can have a jury trial. That's your question.
Or you can request the judge to give you deferred, and then that way you know that you know what the end result is going to be.
I have a right to face my accuser, Your Honor.
No, here's the thing. And this is what I don't think people understand. We can go off the record. Everybody thinks that they can be an attorney without a license. They want to throw around magic words like Jack and the Beanstalk. Oh, let me throw right to accuser, right to confront. Let me throw, I want a dismissal. The question is, do you want a jury trial? Yes or no? And let me explain something to you. If you say you want a jury trial, this train is going to a jury trial. This train is not at the last minute. Oh, I see witnesses walking in the door, so therefore I'm deciding to enter a plea bargain agreement. If you want a jury trial, court will give you a jury trial. You will get a quick, fast jury trial. So you want to discuss that with your attorney? You can. You all want to discuss that?
I'm good with the jury trial.
Do you want to discuss that with your client?
I think based on my conversation with him earlier this morning that he is, because of what happened the other day, it just took him off of pleading and he wants his jury trial.
All right. We're coming back on June 3rd.
Thank you, Judge.
And you will have your jury trial. And your plea deadline date has expired.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Just one moment.
Yeah.
And state, on Mr. Hernandez, I don't know if you all need to request that the stipulations be withdrawn or you all can duplicate your steps.
I think we could do, I think Judge, I just.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Off the record,
Yes.
I'm going to the New Plaza Club on Weston to find out. It's supposed to open up. I'm gonna find out what the lunches are about. I understand you love the chop house.
Yes.
I don't think they have it. I'm gonna find out and I'll report back
Yes. Do away with their chop salad.
because the world changes, Judge.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll probably text you.
All
let
right.
you know what's
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
And
This
just
hearing
like that,
starts with what looks like a routine plea discussion, but it quickly turns into a tense courtroom standoff when the defendant suddenly backs away from a deal he had already accepted. The judge immediately recognizes the situation and makes one thing crystal clear. Once a defendant asks for a jury trial, the court is prepared to move forward all the way. There are no last-minute reversals once witnesses are ready and the process is underway. As the judge explains, too many people walk into court believing that repeating legal buzzwords or internet arguments can somehow override the system. But the courtroom doesn't operate on magic words. It operates on procedure, evidence, and consequences. The defendant insists he never truly understood what he was signing, while also claiming he was acting out of fear for his life during the incident that led to the charges. What follows is a revealing exchange where the court tries to determine whether this is truly confusion, emotional instability, or simply regret after realizing the seriousness of the plea agreement. As the conversation continues, the judge carefully questions the defendant about his mental health, alcohol use, and the bizarre behavior described in the police reports. The defendant strongly denies having mental illness or using drugs, insisting that he was simply terrified and trying to survive a dangerous situation. But despite giving him opportunities to explain himself, The judge refuses to allow the hearing to spiral into emotional excuses or pseudo-legal arguments. Instead, she brings the focus back to the only decision that matters: plea deal or jury trial. The warning becomes sharper when she explains that a jury trial is not a strategy to pressure the prosecution into another offer later. If he chooses trial, the case moves forward fully, quickly, and permanently. The courtroom tension rises because everyone realizes this may be the moment the defendant gives up a deal that could have protected him from a much harsher outcome. By the end of the hearing, the defendant stands firm and demands his jury trial, even after his attorney confirms that the original plea opportunity is effectively gone. The judge accepts the decision without hesitation and formally sets the case for trial, making it clear that the plea deadline has expired. What makes this moment so powerful is how quickly the courtroom shifts from negotiation to consequence. One choice changes the entire future of the case. The judge's message is unmistakable. The justice system will absolutely protect your rights, but once you make a decision, you must live with it. Now the defendant faces the full uncertainty of trial, where the outcome is no longer negotiated behind closed doors, but decided openly before a jury that will hear every detail for themselves.